Today's tutorial is this Hobbit house constructed from just a 7-inch round cake. So firstly, I'm sticking down my 7-inch round cake to the drum slightly towards the back, and I'm stacking it and filling it until it's 3 layers high. This is a lemon sponge with lemon curd and buttercream filling. I know the caramelisation on the outside can always look a bit dark, but it's surprisingly still very soft and just as yummy. I'm then cutting a chunk from the front to flatten it, and make sure to keep your offcuts as we're going to use them later. I'm now just using buttercream as my glue of choice, and with our spare top layer cut in half, you can stick these on at either side. Make sure to fill in the gaps with buttercream because we don't want any air in there, and still trim the fronts flat. You can of course bake a larger cake, cut it in half and stand them up for a similar effect. But I just like my filling to run horizontally, and there just seems to be more cake doing it this way. I'm now just trimming the sides into more of a slope and using my little offcuts to plug in any gaps. I mean, why not use all the little extra bits of cake? It saves me from eating them like I usually do and gaining far too many extra pounds. I've now got this chunky sort of half dome shape. I'm coating the whole thing in a rough layer of chocolate ganache to seal in the freshness, and just scraping the front flat. Don't worry about getting the rest of it too neat, as it's all going to be covered in grass. To see my recipes, just check the description box for the additional videos. Cover the front flat area in a pale yellowy brown paste and trim it to the same shape. I'm taking a circle cutter and marking in the front door, making sure to leave a little room underneath for the row of bricks surrounding it. I'm now taking my larger cutter to mark the outside. There's many different ways you can add details to the front, such as cutting your door out separately, but I've decided to remove the inner circle and replace it with the exact same size of green, running my Dresden tool up and down for the wood texture, and then adding deeper lines for the individual wooden panels. Instead of cutting all the bricks out, which of course you still can do, I've rolled up a tiny little ball of tin foil and I'm texturing that whole outer circle to make it look more like brick. I'm then marking in the 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock and 9 o'clock guides, and then sectioning them off so that the bricks are a little bit more uniformed in shape and angle. Once that's done, I'm taking a smaller cutter to make matching windows, but this time replacing the circles with pale blue. Mark in a straight bottom row of bricks for the windowsills with the Dresden tool. Same thing again, texture with tinfoil and mark in all the brick lines. I've then mixed up some paint. This is actually straight up Egyptian orange gel mixed with a little bit of white powder, and I'm painting in all the brickwork. I've then just got regular white paint for in between the bricks. With a fine paintbrush and black paint, paint in the pattern of the windows. It's kind of like a box with a cross in it and then individual lines to make up the rest. I've now switched to brown gel mixed with white dust, and I'm painting the humped pattern above the windows and doors and colouring it all in. It looks like I have missing footage of the door being painted, but it's just black painted in between the panels, all watered down. For the roof supports, I've rolled a sausage of brown paste, and I'm taking my rolling pin and squashing most of it down. Then take a long sharp knife and cut a strip from this shape. You can see there is a large hump trailing off thinner. Cut this down to size and you're left with little roof supports which you can stick in between the windows and doors, and some on the outsides of the windows. Once you have all 4 on, roll a chunky strip of the same brown and lay this across the roof supports using water to stick it against the wall. You want it to have a slight hump above the door, and I'm pushing the paste onto the cake with the Dresden tool to help attach it. Roll out a large piece of lime green paste and drape it over the back of the Hobbit house. I'm covering the cake and the board in one here and trimming off a bit of the overhang a piece at a time, pushing any excess towards the front of the cake like overgrown moss on the walls. I'm having to work quickly as it's quite a large area and my paste isn't as soft as usual due to mixing it with some existing green I already had. I've taken my cake decorating nail brush and I'm applying texture quickly all over the back, on the board, and then completing the section piece at the front. You can just blend this together and texture it with the nail brush. The more your paste dries out, the less texture it's going to take, so I've grabbed my large Wilton 1M piping star tip and I'm pushing and twisting all along the top to make a deeper, more textured moss. To add a little variation in height, I'm sticking on random sausages of green to the top as it really is very overgrown. The steps are just short sausages of grey paste squashed and manipulated with the Dresden tool. They don't have to be perfectly rectangle, these are natural pieces of worn stone, so don't try and get them too neat. Again, if there's any areas you want to add texture, now is the time. Go back in with that large nozzle. Make up lots of various greens and add these as bushes and moss patches all around the house. For some cute little plant pots, I've rolled some orange paste mixed with brown into a slightly flattened ball and stuck them in a little collection beside the path. Roll a string of paste and top the pots with them. Again, this doesn't have to be too neat either because we're going to be filling it with foliage so you won't see the joins at the back. In two of the pots, I've just added blobs of green paste, which you can add a very small ball of colour to, and poke it in for the illusion of small flowers. For the little pot, I'm just rolling a sausage with two spiked ends, folding them, tearing off the bottom excess and repeating the process for a little spike plant. I've now got another shade of green. This is emerald green mixed with black Renshaws, and I'm adding even more foliage. I'm just indenting a hole in the centre of the door to help hold my small brown door handle. Similar to the plant pots, I've taken white pieces of paste and added them to some of the bushes for the illusion of more little flowers. Because adding these sort of finishing details is always my favourite bit, I'm now making some tiny leaves by squashing a teardrop shape and pulling in some sharp lines. Add these in little clusters around the roof and at the base of some of the bushes. Now I fill my airbrush colour with green. This is Ivy Green by Fractal Colours. And I know what you're thinking, why make all those different types of greens if I'm then just going to cover it all up and dampen the effect with my green airbrush colour? The fact is, I want this to look a bit more Lord of the Rings Hobbit house and less Teletubbies Dome. We really want to deepen those greens and darken it all up a bit. For the open areas, you'll see I'm swirling my airbrush, so it's creating different patches of colours, and then I'm concentrating on any areas where there would be deep shadows, across the front of the roof and at the base of bushes. I usually speed my airbrushing section up, but I've left it a little bit slower so you can see what areas I tend to focus on. I then switch the colour out to black and deepen the shadows even further. I know sometimes it can look a bit much, but we are really aiming for the Lord of the Rings vibe rather than a bright cartoon version. And that's it, a nice quick Hobbit house, which still looks rather impressive. I've left a space on the front of the board where I'm adding a banner for the birthday boy's requested message. I hope you enjoyed this one. Cakes like this can be a little bit quicker when there's no modelling involved, and you can really get lost in adding all those bushes and flowers. Let me know if you give this one a go by tagging me over on Instagram @CherryCakeCo. And I'll see you again next week. Bye guys!